How we doing? How we doing? I'm gonna turn the music down just a little bit. You guys let me know if the music is too loud, if it's too quiet. More music, less music. We're not opposed to either. Yeah. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Today, we're gonna be making some not stream assets. We're gonna be making some video assets. I've got a couple different things planned, a couple things that I want to do, and these are going to be, hey Damien, how you doing, man? What's good? We're making some video assets today. I want to play around with a preset that I made a while ago for basically color grading inside of Fusion. And doing well. How about you? I'm doing good. We've got a little bit of seasonal allergies, but we're working through that, right? You can't let the seasonal allergies stop you from making stuff. So if I sneeze a couple times on stream, that's what that is. Yeah, I want to remake. I've got a screenshot of Markiplier. I made a preset. Yeah, hopefully. So here's the thing. They're very hit or miss. Like they'll either hit me or just or completely miss me. It's very weird, and it's kind of day to day too. So we'll see. Some streams might be like this. Some streams might not. But I called it's right here, Cinema Look Maker, and it broke. Like the thing is broken. I don't know. I think I made it back when 19 was big, or back when 19 was a whole thing, and I don't know what happened to it since. Like, and I can show it to you right here. This is what happens. This is what happens to it. I don't know why, but we have a whole bunch of different settings that are supposed to make the whole thing work. Let me grab a 4-color gradient so we can see underneath. I was supposed to have letterboxing, or I have a letterboxing checkbox, but as you can see, when we have chromatic setting on, the chromatic setting doesn't work. Contrast pop seems to work. Rose glasses, right, or like glowy, dreamy seems to work. Monochrome works. Gritty works. But gritty's super dark. That was something else. We've got old film, and then none if you just wanted the letterboxing, right? And this started off kind of as just like a very basic preset for like doing quick, like super quick grades where I didn't need a lot of changes. But I do want to add a couple controls in here, especially for stuff like gritty, where like this looks kind of cool. It looks kind of cool, but some of the areas, like the face cam's kind of dark, and I might want to be able to adjust like the gamma, the gain a little bit. So I want to add some stuff like that. And with the monochrome, because monochrome I don't believe is pure black and white. Someone can fact check me on that. Someone can fact check, look that up. But I might add in, if monochrome, right? Maybe I can do monochrome and then add just like a black and white slider, so you can add more or less color. Chromatic is supposed to be, you can see down here, it's supposed to be kind of like that 3D glasses effect, and that's what this originally was. It's broken now. If we go into Fusion, we can see I have this broken completely. Oh, wait a second. Wait, if I do this, I plug everything in. Weird. I don't know why that's... Also, let me know if you guys can hear the stream. Let me know how the volume is. Let me know how everything is. Hey Kana, how you doing? Today we're testing out some stream presets. Well, we're making some new stuff. We're fixing some old stuff. Voice is good. Hell yeah. IG channel. Hell yeah. Voice is good. Music's a little quiet. Okay, we can pump the music up. There we go. Put the music up to there. We have... Oh, wait. Let me unplug. Let me reapply this. Let me reapply. Where is it? Here we go. I look at how proud I was. Cinema Look Maker. Yeah, so look, it applies perfectly. It applies perfectly in the preview. But then, let me get rid of the old version. It applies perfectly, right? Everything gets a little bit more intense. There's a little bit more blue, a little bit more green. Then you apply it, and the whole thing's just broken. Like, I don't know what happened. But yeah, everything else works. I want to add in some more controls for this. Here's the thing: is I don't remember exactly how I made this. We may have to dive into some old project files to find it. In the meantime, actually, I'll leave that there. In the meantime, I think Shift 3. Yeah, Shift 3 is Fusion for me. What I want to do is make a couple presets specifically for gaming videos. We're looking at adding some members features. How's version 21 been for you? You know, Damien, I'm so glad you asked. Watch this. You just reminded me of a problem that I've been having with 21. If I click spline, nothing happens. I was working on the newest video, which the newest video is an entire different thing. Originally it was going to be another VFX breakdown. It was going to be a breakdown of the Amazon Prime logo, but now we're going to switch over. I'm changing the format to be a little bit more narrative based. So we're going to be covering less of the technical stuff because I didn't find the method to be insanely useful. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about how I came to certain decisions, what was working, what wasn't. It's going to be a lot more entertaining. Yeah, it's going to be, yeah, dang, yeah. The spline, okay, so to fix something like this, and I updated to, I think, beta 3. Let me see, about, I don't know, yeah, build 0B, build 33. So there is a way you can fix this, because even though I have updated to the newest version, you can see, right, even after updating, this is still broken. You have to go into your file pathing and actually replace your Fusion profile, because something is happening in the console somewhere. Is it here? Deactivate license. The console control panel, resolve reference manual. I forget how to bring the console up. But basically, there should be a way for me to see, hey Rano, how you doing? Welcome back. There should be a way for me to see the console and see if something is wrong with this. But basically, I have to go into my file pathing because it thinks that this is either opening or something is wrong. What happened, I think, oh, console's under workspace. Thank you. Okay. I don't know if it'll show. Okay, yeah, so it's not showing. Yeah, okay. Anyways, I think I crashed. I think I crashed Resolve while I had the spline editor popped out. So, so maybe don't upgrade to 21 just yet unless you've encountered a lot of bugs before and know how to fix them. Because otherwise you might have a little bit of a sad time. Okay, so there were two things that I wanted to look at today. One was making a slow grow preset. Yeah, it stinks, but it's not too bad. I'll just have to, when I make the new profile, because it basically, not only is it a kind of like a fresh slate, it also keeps your keybinds and whatever else, I think. So yeah, I think this is all set up brand new. This used to not be new. I used to have some custom stuff moved around, but yeah, so it'll reset all this, which, I mean, it's already at default, so it doesn't really bother me. One thing we wanted to do, and this is for gaming videos, which I've been wanting to get back into. I have a gaming channel. I have a gaming channel somewhere on YouTube. It's got like 1,500 subscribers, but I haven't posted on there in like 9 months. So we want to make some presets for people who do gaming stuff, people who do even like, you can use this for not entertainment stuff. So the first one is like a slow grow preset. And basically this is for if you're slowly moving in, like you're slowly zooming in, you're slowly zooming in to a certain point on the screen. So you can see I have my pivot point right here. If I size in, right, it's going to zoom into this part. Otherwise it's going to zoom in over to here. So basically we're going to make something that will gradually zoom in over time. But I can change the pivot point. So basically I could set this to like be 0 and 1. And then we could go to expression, set it to like, I don't know. We'll do 1 because we want the default size, and then plus time multiplied by like 0.01. Let me see, how fast will that move? Okay, so maybe we add another 0 in there. And basically, if you're talking, and let's say you have some kind of reaction, right? You have some kind of reaction, blah blah blah, something's happening. You want to zoom in on your character, your reaction, right? So that's how we would have that set up. I don't know why it's. Oh, we can do this. There we go. And so this would be our preset. But let's say instead, you know, we have a specific area that we're trying to zoom in. Maybe someone's doing something in the background. We want to zoom into them. Man, yeah, expressions are super, super cool. I want to do a video on expressions, but they're very easy to explain as a concept, right? Expressions are just math you use to animate things. So I'd start off with a default value of 1 right here. Time is like the frame value. And then you multiply that frame value by 0.001. So you multiply 259 by 0.001, you end up with 0.259. So this is how, so basically it's a math equation. Whatever the answer to this math equation is what will appear here, which is why when we're on 0, this is at 1. It's at the default value, right? When we're at 5, it's at 5, blah, 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 blah. Continues going. It's just annoying because I despise math. It's not as difficult once you do some use cases, or like once you've played around with it a bit and you're like, okay, I see how this works. When it really gets complicated is when you start trying to do, bro, are you Markiplier editor? Room cuts. I wish, man, that would be cool. That'd be super cool. I need to work on my gaming editing a little bit before I could be at that level. We just have a screenshot of him here because he's like the default gaming creator on YouTube. Because he's the default gaming creator on YouTube, we're gonna use a screenshot of his gameplay as example. Yeah, where expressions get really complicated is when you start doing things like expression-driven animation. And you might be thinking, oh, well, this is expression-driven animation. You would be right, but what I mean is more stuff that is like timed, so that something will always take place at the beginning and then always take place at the end, or like you'll have like a custom curve set up. So if I want to do like animation, if I want to have an animation length slider, then all of my animation needs to be done with expressions. Because if I hardwire my keyframes, like if I take this, right, and I go transform 1, we add in our transform node, let's get rid of this, and I add a keyframe here, then I go to 100 and I put it at 2, right? This is hardwired in. No matter what I'm doing, this is always going to take place from frame 0 to frame 100. Now I can use a key stretcher node, which is, yeah, keyframe stretcher, to make sure that animation will always get pushed to the ends of any piece of media really, so that it would always have that 100 frame animation at the beginning and maybe something at the end if I have another one, but I wouldn't be able to actually change how long that animation is, because the keyframes, it's like, nope, we're digging in at 0 and at 100. I guess this is flipped, so at 0 and at 100. And using expression-driven animation, what you can do is you'd set up a math equation, and this is where you're using variables, and I think Resolve added in, yeah, it's really interesting. You can make some really cool stuff. That's how we did, actually, no, we didn't do the all-in-one text preset. We didn't do that with the all-in-one text preset. I did try, but it got too clunky. It already chugs a little bit. It already chugs a little bit if you stack a whole bunch, just because the way it's set up, and I do want to overhaul the back end of it to see if I can make it run smoother. But like if I do this, right, and we have our animation done like that, we use keyframe stretchers so that if I drag this out, the animation still takes place at the beginning. Hey, Ask, how you doing? Good to have you here. Good to have you here. We're talking a little bit about expressions, how we use them in presets, and the difference between keyframe stretching something, normal expressions, and expression-driven animation. So you can see I've adjusted the beginning and end of this. The animation will still take place at the beginning and end. I can add like 2 different splits in here, and right, the animations will all still take place at the beginning and end. Right, this is me just kind of showing off preset now. I can set my beginnings and ends to, right, whatever I would like, blah, 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 blah. And so these are all set to naturally take place at the beginning and end, no matter what the animation is, blah, 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 blah. But I cannot adjust the animation length, and that's using keyframes. Yeah, keyframes and keyframe stretcher. There is a little bit of expression work done in it as well, right? We're working in a 60 frames per second timeline. If I change the playback frame rate to 24 frames a second, right, you can see this changes, right? Which we don't want the animation to be slow. So we did do some work in the back end as well. With, yeah, I always imagine, yeah, we do actually use anim curves specifically for the timing to make sure that no matter what timeline frame rate we have, we will always end up with the same speed of playback, right? Because I want these animations to still be moving this fast, even at a 24 frame per second timeline, which was something I ran into. Anim curves is love, anim curves is life. Hell yeah, Camera Tim. You got that right. Anim curves, it's so useful, right? Even if, like, if we go to here and wait a second, did I paste this on here? Where did I? Oh no, I got rid of the other transform. Right, if we go to here, we right click, go to modify with anim curves. This is where the magic takes place. So you have scaling, which is like how drastic of a change. Like maybe you want to multiply your change. So instead of going from 0 to 1, it goes from 0 to 2. You can adjust your scale. Let me plug this in here. Like this. Right now, because we've set the source to transition, it's going to try and go from, I think, 0 to 1 all the way from the end. If I set this to custom. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, if I set this to custom, then I get control over the values, and I can animate it directly from here. The reason I would animate it from here instead of from the tools is because then I can add in scaling controls. Haven't seen you in a while. I haven't been streaming in a little bit. Oh, Camera Tim, yeah. I haven't seen Camera Tim. We've talked in the Resolve server. I haven't seen you stream either. You're working on something you couldn't show. Interesting. Camera Tim's working on some top secret stuff. But yeah, the reason you would do your animation in anim curves is so you can add in your timing expressions. You go to time scale, you go blah 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 blah. You put your timing expression in, which gets the composition's frame format rate, which is just the frame rate, and then it will either multiply or divide by a specific number. It'll be whatever, not super top secret, just the stuff I'm not allowed to show until release. Okay, that's fair. But basically, you would multiply it or divide it by like whatever the native frame rate of the effect was, and then it would give you your new time scale, so that the animations would always play back at whatever the timeline frame rate was. So it's like anim curves is super useful. You can also set it to duration, so it'll go from 0 to 1, which is different than transition, because transition is going to be a transition. You can set it to mirror, right? So it'll make it to make it all the way from 0 to 1 at the beginning, and then go out at the end. Or you can set it to invert, blah 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 blah. So there's a lot of good settings here. You can even change your easing, so that you can have all kinds of different easing presets that are just straight up built into Resolve. But that is why anim curves is so nice, because you can, like, it allows you a lot more customization and a lot more adaptability, right? For us today, I think it was pivot that we wanted. And I think for this, because I'm wanting to make this very flexible, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in a custom tool. We'll have to see if I remember how to do this. And what we're gonna do is we're going to replace this value here with a variable, because this is our growth variable. This is actually determining the speed at which we grow in. If I set this to 5, then I play this back, you can see it grows a lot faster, right? Set this to just like straight up 1. You're gonna see this grow super fast. If we set it to just a normal 1, this is really funny. It goes boom, just flies in there. So we want to replace this with a variable that we can adjust, because I can't just go in here, or, well, you wouldn't really want to go in here and just be like typing it in. There's nothing that would stop you from doing it, but just to keep everything clean, and so that you're not like, oh wait, which variable, which digit was I supposed to replace on, and then messing something up. What we're going to do instead is we're going to replace this with one of these inputs, so that we can slide this, and it will control our the speed instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the custom tool, and I'm just going to uncheck all of these, because I don't want a whole bunch of controls showing, especially for you guys right now, because it's going to be a little confusing, a little confuzzling. Something else I could do is set up like different default speeds for this by using a whole bunch of different numbers. But basically what I would do is, you can see when I hover over number in 1, if you look at the bottom left of your screen, right, or the bottom left of the stream, there's an expression I always use on the input, so I can always have the intro and outro be the same speed and the animation time, regardless of frame rate, without the need for keyframes or key structure. Ooh, interesting. How does that run? How smooth does that run, Camera Tim? Because that could potentially speed some stuff up a little bit. Actually, I'm thinking it might not. Something else to know about when you're doing expressions is expressions have a toll on your computer. So, because it is a mathematical calculation, because it's only one expression, yeah, it runs pretty well. Yeah, I would have to run that on every single node, I think. So that might not run as well. I need to do some experimenting with publishing controls as well. Like if I hit this, just for everyone's benefit, how can I do this? Yeah, if I hit publish, then I believe I can, publish and connect to. So if I publish this, I can connect other stuff to it. And then, debating on converting it to on-change. That would be cool. I don't know a ton of the on-change mechanics, Camera Tim, so I wouldn't be able to help you out as much there. That at least, yeah, some significant amounts of processing. Yeah, because an expression will run every single frame to update the changed value. So that, yeah, that would be helpful. Now, when you're publishing a value, I believe it's different than creating an expression right here and then connecting that to something else, because the expression still has to update. I think if you publish and then connect something to something else, it's just going to use the exact same value without having to run a calculation, I believe. So if we do custom tool 1, right, and then the property we're using is number in 1. Number in 1, what will happen is, let me double check this. Number in 1, yeah. I did not type this in properly. There we go. Number in 1. Now, nothing changes, but that is because we have not adjusted this. So if I do this, you can see now we're getting some growth. Let me add another 0 in here. There we go. And what I want to do is, I think I'm going to want to add like another 0 in here, like go into my edit controls. And then, let me see, basically add more zeros so that, time to ask Claude, I say Claude's AI, he knows some things. So it can save a ton of resources if recalculating isn't necessary on most frames, you're saving yourself a ton. I learned that from Pizza. Pizza Blue knows his stuff. He knows the back end. Him and someone else. I think it's him and Gargoyle inside the DaVinci Resolve server. They really know their stuff. I want to, let me see. I want to add, I think, another 0 onto here. Or what I could do is I could just do this. Custom control and then divide by 10. And then we'll add bracket here and bracket here because we want the custom tool 1 number in 1 divided by 10 to take place before everything else. So now if I play this through, now I'm just sliding this. Just sliding this in, right? It allows me to make more drastic changes because the slider is naturally, hey, your name is gibberish, so I can't pronounce your name, but hello, welcome to the channel. But basically, we hit play, right? And we can adjust this slider. This is naturally going to add that extra 0 so that we're not having a super sudden drastic change take place. Right, so if I put this up to like 1, it isn't actually going to be moving at 1, right? It's going to be moving at 0.1, which is still very fast, but I mean, it's better than normal. I think for the default as well, we'll put this at like 0.01. We will make the center 0, and here we go. Actually, I guess that's fine, right? So if I double click on this, yeah, it's basically gonna be like that. Boom. And so now, if I turn this into a preset, just worked up a new anim on-off system. Ooh, Patrick Sterling, welcome. How you doing, man? Oh wait, how did I add a color curves? There we go. We're doing some expression-driven animation to make some cool presets for gamers. So when you're doing a reaction, right? I can do this, boom, boom. You can add in that slow zoom for either the cringe or the hilarity, right? Whatever people are doing, and then adjust it in here so that you can adjust your speed. And I believe with this, I can even make it negative as well, so I can have it slowly going away. If I set this back to normal, like let's say you are, I don't know, something super cringe happens, and you're like, I want to crawl into a hole, right? You can do something like that. Maybe pump the contrast up a bit. and then you have some reverb on or something, right? But yeah, we're doing some really cool stuff. I'm gonna build some cool things. I also might want to do some work on this little color correction drop down preset that I made like forever ago. Oh snap. Camera Tim dropping some expressions. Here's the expression min. Okay, yeah, you got the min max time. Ooh, okay. Anim curves is great, but it's kind of pain in the ass to make those Apple style animations. I found this free script called Flow that lets you add those animations easily without modifiers or expressions. I've seen Flow. I haven't tried it. Part of the reason is because I want to see how, like, I want to see the splines for those Apple animations. Like, I want to make them myself so that I could, so I know how to do them for future. And then 2, so that if I want to make something in the future, I don't need to have any extra plugins and stuff. And then custom control is the added control into whatever node you're using that controls the amount of seconds the animation takes. Yeah, that's what we like. Pizza Blue, I heard you like AI summaries, so I Firefox page overviewed your Google AI overview so you can hallucinate your hallucinations and just make sure you have mirror toggled. Oh, yes. Oh, hey, Flo, that's the guy who openly stole Flowy. Flowy, this is the first I'm hearing of Flowy. You've got, you can color me surprised. I was usually going to say that too. Built mine on the time settings, the speed, and offset with the source set to duration. Extra calc modifiers on the speed, so users can set it to real-time seconds, duration, and separate XF in out. I see, Patrick Sterling. I think I'm more your speed. I like having the different in animations and out animation times. We can show this off right here. I made a super basic version of some move presets, and I think I used them in the newest videos, and you'll notice they're not perfect, and that's because I didn't add in any kind of positioning for them. It was just like some preset positions. I've got anim type in full, so it's in and out, and then version is like how far it's going to move. So if I set this to 5, right, it'll move halfway, and then it'll move back in. Really, it's just a nice smooth thing. Originally, making this with the ability to change how far it was going was like an entire thing, because I was kind of new to modifiers and stuff. Then, like, I didn't know a ton. I had to learn a whole bunch really fast, and I put like, yeah, flow is kind of the worst. Flow is kind of the worst. Ooh, it was a fun but frustrating process because it's specifically Resolve related. It's a deep rabbit hole. Oh, scripts. Yeah, scripting is the deep. Scripting in Fuses is about where you hit, I'd say it's like 1 degree from the bottom of the rabbit hole. Like the bottom of the rabbit hole with Fusion. Yeah, learning modifiers though, I put like 40 or 50 modifiers on a single transform node, and then I could not interact with it. And that is before I realized how efficient you could build things by just adjusting scale controls and angle controls by, I think, changing something into, I think it's like a vector or something. You can adjust vector controls. That might be over here. Vector result, I think. Modify with vector result, I think, yeah. You can adjust all kinds of stuff in the vector result. Even I don't know all of what it does, because I only played with it once or twice. Hell yeah. And the relevant parties are involved in taking action. Oh, wow. Who made... Because I've seen flow, or like I've seen it around. Dude, we're getting into the Resolve drama here. This is crazy. We're Resolve news, Resolve drama. Who made flow? Because I swear I've seen it around. I've seen it in a couple different servers, but I don't know the creator who made like the new one that we're talking about. Also, this is This looks really funny because it looks like a rum bottle. It is water though. But it used to be white rum, so maybe I'll keep 2 and you'll never know. You'll never know which one I'm drinking. There's a reason. Oh, don't give him a 10. End of conversation. There's a reason. Okay, fair. Fair enough. I can understand that. Let me get rid of the color corrector here. But yeah, so this is like a very simple thing. Ever since talking to you on Discord, check it out. It makes super easy ammo. It looks really close. Ooh, I do like. Okay, yeah. I'll talk to you after pizza. Yeah, I want to make a super basic, some super basic gaming stuff. Right, like make it first, make it functional, add in, you know, the extra controls later. That was one. The other one I wanted to do, and this was like a very subtle thing that I saw a buddy of mine doing, and he made the suggestion for this, is he actually asked me about this. He was like, it would be really cool, because what he'll do sometimes is he'll have something like this, where he'll zoom in on himself, right, like this, and he'll be talking or something, but the gameplay is still taking place in the background, and he's like, I want to direct the attention towards me without without having the gameplay be super distracting. So what I did was I added like a very subtle vignette, and I was like, oh, that's it. Like, that's interesting. It's like it didn't, and it is super subtle, without you know, being overtly like super forcing your attention. That guy got to the tree. People are mass producing scripts with AI. I think the floodgate has been open, and it's going to be hard to control. Okay, so Rano, here is yes and no. That is like what I think of that. Like, will it be hard to control? Only time will tell, kind of deal. So here's our vignette right here. So the white is the blurred part, the black is not the blurred part. So if I do before versus after, and let's say there's gameplay taking here, this now, like, your eyes are naturally going to go to the area that is more sharp. And maybe I could even add on, like, I could bring the color corrector back, and we could bump like saturation up. This is where, now this is honestly where I should be just doing a power grade. Did you check the video on Discord, by the way? Too terrifying. Yo, what's good, pizza? Pizza going arg. I'll have to look at the Discord. I'll have to look at the Discord. If you just posted it, Rano, then I haven't seen it. Basically, oh no, I would want a separate ellipse. So Rano, to answer your question as well, or to give you my take on that, I do think that you're gonna see a lot more scripts in future, a lot more like AI generated gobbledygook, and I think a lot of them are not going to run very well. Oh, it's in the Resolve chat. Okay, I'll check it out. For anyone who wants to kind of stay up to date on what's going on in the server, you want sneak peeks, you want early news, and I'm thinking of maybe doing some deals for Discord server members as well, for any kind of like presets or templates that we release. Then join the server, because cool stuff, cool conversations, and of course cool people. So let me just for the super here we go, just for sake of being super specific, I'd do something like this, and this is where power grade comes in, because I can do, right, with a power grade, I can, or not with a power grade, with nodes in the color page, I can basically make a node of this, hit Alt-O, and it will make an opposite mask of this super easy, and then I can adjust the colors directly inside of them. I don't need to do this all in Fusion, but the cool thing about Fusion is I can make it a drag and drop effect on the edit page, and I don't need to worry about, I'm gonna skip this song, and I don't need to worry about making it like a super complicated color page thing, which, you know, wouldn't be super complicated, but a lot of people don't get color page stuff. So I think it'd be more complicated for other stuff. I love that I can use DCTLs. You can use DCTLs in Fusion? No way. I have one that Cullen Kelly, who is like really good color guy. He's kind of like Wakas Kazi, except like without the flash, and he goes super deep into stuff. Oh, I don't want 1.4. So like definitely check him out if you want the sizzle. Let's see, DCTL. Oh hell yeah! What do I even have? Oh, here we go. This was it. The $24.99. $24.99. That's the one that he recommended. Oh boy. Can I set all of these back to default and see what this looks like? Boom, 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 boom. Density. And then, yeah, okay, wow. I'm gonna have to play around with this. Oh, ooh, this is cool. I'm gonna have to play with this a little bit later. But yeah, here's our before. Here's our after. I would maybe not pull my saturation down as much and maybe do it to like a 0.8. So it would be like, yeah, ever so slightly making an adjustment to more focus in on the camera, the guy in the camera, because there's before where you're like, oh, I could look anywhere, especially if there's gameplay happening here. Favorite utility tool. You guys' chat is going above my head. So a DCTL, I don't even understand fully DCTLs, but it's kind of like, actually I can't even speak necessarily on it. You're good, we're just excited about geeky words. DCTL it's like a color grading tool. I wouldn't call it a LUT necessarily, but it does help you adjust some stuff. Maybe make the face cam a little brighter too. Good catch. We can do that. Maybe do that. Maybe adjust the... We can actually pull the gamma down a little bit. And so there's our before. There's our after. And then I could probably add in like a sharpen as well. Did you guys know? I think it's soften and sharpen. Soften and sharpen is... which one's this? Soften and sharpen is a studio only feature. There are some features where I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like it makes... Like, I can kind of see why they would do that, but, like, I assumed that would be in the basic version of Resolve. Yeah, so here we go. Here's before. Here's after. With the sharpen, I would have to play around with it a little bit. Or I'd have to make it adjustable, because there are some things you're not going to want super sharp. Like, this at 1 already looks like you can see it's already getting kind of broken here. The more I pull it up, oh boy. Yeah, the more it just breaks and it looks like an AI upscaled thing. Maybe set this to just 0.3, so it's like almost not. Yeah, it's almost not noticeable. Yeah, barely good. Do you not feel like cramped using node space? So little, maybe for me, I had my toolbar and maximize. Not really, Rano, because normally I'm focused on like just the one area, and if I need to, I'll zoom out. So I can have something like this. Again, also if I need to. If the node tree is big, and I'm looking at stuff and I need to like connect something over to here, right? Middle mouse button and left click to scroll in and out. But yeah, back to, okay, so the huge thing with the AI scripts that you're gonna see coming out with Cloud and all the other stuff. You sent me DM pizza, okay, I'll check that out. You're going to see a lot of unoptimized scripts and a lot of scripts that are like broken. Because I've looked into some of the stuff like, oh, like maybe I can make my own tool. Let's see. Fusion standalone, you can hit F4. What if I do this now? Nothing. I might have, okay, I was going to say I might have broken it, like changed, because I've changed my stuff around so much. Like there's edit page, fusion page, color page. Oh, I don't have color page built in. Yeah, I've played around. I've done my fair share of toggling things. What is this? This is the Fusion page, VYZRA. This is the Fusion page. This is where we do motion graphics work and compositing work. So and this is also where we make presets and templates. So we have like this slow growing preset, or right now it's a slow shrinking preset because I have it set to negative. If I get rid of the negative, now it's slowly growing to the center. If I set this to 0 and 1, now it's slowly growing into the face cam. So I could have, right, I could set this to be, let's move this over. Could move this into here. This is the fun Fusion workspace. Super fun for everyone. So now, yeah, I mean, it's going to chug a little bit because we are doing Resolve things, and then we're also streaming. So we've got our processing power is being chunked, and we are using an expression here. But yeah, so there's our before, there's our after. Yeah, that really helps. I think I would add in. I would make all of these linked, so that when you adjust one, it adjusts all of them. And then I think I would probably like link all the controls, so that if I want to soften this out a ton, it'll be softened out so much. And I think, let me see, does this, I think I might want to put the transform at the end as well. And this is where node flow. So I use it when we're talking about what are we making? We're making just some basic presets. This is going to be a preset for entertainment, or, I mean, you could use it really for anything you want, but the intent is for like gaming creators. So when you have a reaction, or something that you just want to zoom in on, and you're trying to make sure that you're leading the the viewers' eyes to go to one specific spot, we are desaturating the area we don't want people to look at. We are adding a bit of saturation to the area we do want people to look at. We're blurring the area we don't want them to look at, and we're sharpening the area we do want them to look at. And then I think I would add the transform at the end, so that, yeah, so that we're keeping it all consistent. And this is where node flow. I use node flow and node order differently. Like, node flow to me is the flow of information going from like a group of nodes, or like from beginning to end of your pipeline. So my node flow right now is going from left to right. It's going all the way across, right? The node flow right here is going down to up. And then node order is the actual order, or the actual placement of the nodes. If I put the transform here, then when it grows, you can see that the ellipse is not growing with it, meaning that I'm going to keep the same area of the screen. I'm going to keep the same area of the screen focused on, no matter how big it is. So if, let's say I go, let me adjust this. Let's say this ends up being super big, I'm still going to have my ellipse focused here, which, I mean, I don't want, because now look at what I'm doing. But if I move my transform over to here, completely changes based off of the movement of just one node, because now the ellipse is this big, because originally it was focused right here. So now it grows with the effect, as opposed to, you know, not with the effect. Fusion standalones not possible in Resolve. Someone was asking about, man, what's the point of connecting one node with other nodes like in Liquid Glass? Too terrifying. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. If you just mean like connecting nodes to each other at like a baseline. Connecting nodes in Fusion is how you pass information along from one node to the next. So this is our screenshot. This node right here is our screenshot. I'll get rid of the other one just so that we have no confusion. So this is our screenshot. I'm giving the screenshot information to the color corrector node to say, hey, I want to make some color changes to this. Then I'm using this ellipse, which is kind of like a cookie cutter. So it will selectively tell this color corrector node, which part to add that change to. Then I pass it on to the next one, add some more changes, add some blur changes, add some sharpening, and then finally zoom it in. So it's an information assembly line, kind of like in the cartoons when you see something getting made piece by piece. Yeah, I keep touching on the AI scripts and then breaking away from it. I looked into a little bit of like AI scripting for Resolve, specifically for Fusion. One of the things, information assembly line, yeah, is a good way to put it. Casey Ferris, I like the way he puts it with the toast. but it's very like, I don't know, it seems a little bit basic. Hey, newcomer here, can I get a brief on what's happening? We're making some new presets and templates for gaming creators, and you know, you can use these for not gaming videos, but the intended use is for gaming. But yeah, Casey Ferris, he has the toast analogy is good. A lot of people use it. I really like the factory assembly line analogy, which is more or less the same, but just you think about it at a bigger scale. And you can change out the parts of it. Like, you don't have to toast, or like you have the toast, you can either toast it or you cannot toast it. And so it feels a little bit more restricting. Whereas with the factory assembly line, it's like, okay, we start off with our organic material, whatever material we're starting off with. Then we go to station 1, add some changes, go to station 2. So maybe, let's say it's a car assembly line, right? Another thing about this is you can change it to whatever metaphor or analogy you want. So basic piece of whatever, add in the engine, add in the body, add in the wheels of the car, you know, add in, I don't know, add in the windshield wipers, add in the cup holder, boom, finished product, right? So you think about it as an assembly line, and you can have different pieces of information. Oh, I mean, like you have the connected DCTL, and then connect some DCTL. Oh, connecting this was just a different assembly line. I was just playing around with this. Having these connected they're not going to do anything to this line here, because I'm basically splitting the fork. So because now the node flow is also going from left to right and then from here to here, right? Nothing that happens here would affect what happens here. This was just something that we were playing with, but I don't actually have to have it connected, right? Now, if I do something like this, and I have raw information, and then I reconnect it at the end, now that information is integrated into the assembly line. But yeah, the AI stuff, because there is, and who was I talking to? I was talking to a couple people. Yeah, you just follow the arrows between the nodes. Yeah, like the connections. So here's output, square box, input is triangle. And you can just kind of follow it from beginning all the way to media out. But I was talking to a couple people the other day about the problem with like not many people knowing. Good, we'll stay here as a gaming creator and DaVinci user. I got treasury. Hell yeah. Yeah, there will be, like, I'll probably release some of this stuff for free as well. I'll have to test it a bit, make sure it works. But yeah, just helpful things that you can play around with. But I was talking to a few people about why so many people talking about how squares are mask inputs and the orange are for 3D. What? Pizza, you gotta send me that TikTok. That sounds hilarious. I have to see that, dude. But because there's so little documentation about Fusion, people don't use it. And because people don't use it, there's so little documentation. And you just keep, or I should say the community repeats that cycle. And when I say the community, I mean the video editing community as a whole. There's so many people who are working in Sony Vegas, Filmora, Avid. I mean, if you're working with Avid Media, that's kind of a different realm. Final Cut, and then of course After Effects and Premiere Pro. That they don't even know that Fusion exists. And if they do know it exists, they do not. I spent 1,000 hours in Fusion, so you don't have to. That's hilarious. I have probably spent 1,000 hours in Fusion at this point. TikTok education is an entirely different realm of, like, I don't even know if I would call it brain rot, but there's so much. The impression that I always get from TikTok education is like, I'm gonna give you the magic bullet of content. You're not gonna need to learn anything. There is zero work involved. You just simply press a button, comment viral, and I'll give you the secrets to content. Hey, Good, what's going on? Good to see you again. Always good to have Good in the chat. But yeah, so because people don't document stuff, right? There's so little documentation. People have not really solved a lot of like niche problems
in Fusion. Those problems don't get documented, and because there's no documentation, people don't learn Fusion. And the TikTok that I did, it got a couple million views. Most of the comments on that post, yo, show your jawline. What do you mean? That's my jaw. I don't. But because so few people know about it, most of the comments were, yeah, what about motion graphics? Oh, what about an After Effects replacement? And Fusion can do a lot of stuff that After Effects can do. Like if you guys click on the channel, you can look at the effects breakdown playlist. You can look at the text video. We can do so much of the things that After Effects can do. And when it comes to 3D compositing, that's where we can kind of outdo After Effects a little bit. But like a lot of people simply do not know, and that translates into the AI bubble. People are calling it the AI bubble because when there's no documentation, and AI is trained on human input, on human documentation, or on the problems we solve. If there's so little available, it's going to take the manual. It's going to take posts that it finds in forum. At this point, DaVinci Resolve is just Fusion with plugins. Somewhat. I mean, there's a lot you can do not inside Fusion. The color page is so much fun. Color page is its own rabbit hole. I won't even get started in that. But because the AI literally has like nothing to go off of except for a couple manuals and some forum posts and like a few YouTube videos, it can help you with like very, very basic stuff in Fusion, but it's gonna hallucinate. It's gonna hallucinate so much. I asked even like Cloud AI, which is supposed to be the new good one, right? The new like lead in AI. I was talking to it yesterday or the day before. I asked it. I was asking it about 3D compositing a little bit, and talking about piracy as TOS. I don't even. Oh, Fusion can do more or less everything stock AE can do more. AE edges Fusion mostly on being the easiest to pirate. Trillion plugins and tutorials. I mean, like, pirated versions of stuff, like, I can understand why someone would pirate Adobe products. They're not the cheapest if you plan on using them in the long term, and if you want multiple of them, you're going to be shilling out like $100+ a month. And this is assuming you're making money with them. Like, you're already going to be losing, $1,000+ a year. I'm not condoning the piracy, but I do understand why people pirate Adobe stuff, right? Now, here's the problem with that is, like, if you decide how much you use codes in Fusion, I do basically zero coding. If you want to talk coding, if you want to talk the deep nitty gritty, you want to make super customizable stuff that is optimized like to the max, Pizza Blue is your guy. Check him out. He's got a video already on YouTube, and he's got his own store. Like, really good stuff. But yeah, AI will make you stuff. It hallucinated a node. I was talking to it about basically this. So you have the S shape system, which allows you to create custom shapes in DaVinci Resolve, and then turn them into 3D shapes. Because the S shape system starts off as 2D and then goes into 3D. What I've seen is it does not play nice when you try to add shadow data, or like when you try to block lights. So like, let's say I want to light one half of this, and I don't want to light the other half, I could take like a shape 3D, merge it with this, let's throw a merge on here, blah 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 blah, right? And so if I'm lighting this, and I just want to light like one part, and I don't want to light the other part, the extrude 3D and the shape 3D system, or the S shape system, does not like to play well with shadow information, meaning that if I'm like, oh, you should have like light, not like volumetric lighting, but some light physics, so that this can actually block the light from this. And instead the light just goes straight through it, because the shape system, the S shape system, does not want to, have actual lighting mechanics for some reason. I haven't figured it out. My theory is that because this starts off as 2D and goes to 3D, it does not, like, it doesn't fully understand and worked with. Have I tried the USD system? I have not tried the USD system. That is a good suggestion, Rano. I should 100% check that out. I might after the stream. But yeah, the S-shape system, because it is 2D going into 3D, I think it doesn't fully adopt all the same properties that just a normal shape 3D does. But yeah, like if you're gonna pirate stuff, especially if you're pirating Resolve, I don't even know, like I don't know why you would pirate Resolve, because it's like one-time purchase. Like you're gonna pay for Adobe 4 times over if you have the Creative Cloud, or maybe it's 3 times over now than you would just buying Resolve once. Plus, cracked Resolve is not going to play well with a lot of plugins. Orson Lord, who created Snap Captions, like I think it's the most popular captioning tool in Resolve right now for like auto captioning. Like if you try to use broken stuff with like actual like tested Resolve plugins, it just bricks. Like he was telling me, he's like, yeah, people would talk about, oh no, my Resolve, your plugin doesn't work, and he's like, what do you mean it doesn't work? And they're like, it's not working. And so he looks into it and he's like, are you using pirated Resolve? And they're like, and they just stop responding. So I think, I would imagine he eventually had to test it out himself and was like, okay, like just to set the record straight, does it work? Because then we can figure out why, you know, what problems people are having with Snap Captions. And I think it was that most of them were just people trying to use it with broken software. So like with Adobe, I get it. With Resolve, I'm like, dude, like the free version already has so much stuff. Like Adobe, you don't even get a free version. You know, paying for plugins but not for the main software is a bit nuts. I think he has a free version. I think he had a free version of Snap Captions, which was really cool of him to do. I mean, like, powerful tool, man. Powerful tool. Like auto, like the subtitle animation is so time consuming. The whole reason, have I tried Gemini for scripting? I haven't. But yeah, AI will make you so. Oh man, I have to finally close this loop in my head. So the AI will script things for you, but it will hallucinate so much stuff because people haven't solved tons of niche problems, because a lot of people don't even know that Resolve can solve niche problems like creating Netflix, doing a lot of 3D stuff, doing captions or animated subtitles. So it will hallucinate entire node trees for you. I had a buddy who wanted to make a glitch effect, and it gave him like 20 nodes when realistically you could do the thing with 4 nodes, and the 20 node tree didn't even work. But yeah, well, yeah, Pizza, people are trying to get the studio version, but like I think if you download the studio version off of the support page, like you just don't get GPU acceleration, so it just kind of is a lot slower. Cloud with Resolve MPC through has been really nice because it can actually somewhat understand it. Okay, that's good. But I found it, like, even Cloud would hallucinate stuff. And then with the scripting, what I imagine it's going to do is it's going to do the same thing. It's either going to hallucinate code that doesn't exist or doesn't work. Yeah, if you can't make 300 off your work to pay for it. Yeah, basically, Pizza. Yeah, I agree with that. Like if you can't make the $300 to pay for the studio, you don't need the studio, because the work's not going to be advanced enough, and like where you're still not getting paid for it, but you're doing things that need all these super heavy effects, unless it's like hyper specific. Obviously, there's exceptions to every rule, but general rule, yeah. The whole reason I made this plugin or this template here, where you can set up different. Where's my in animation? Oh, that's new. Did I break this? Oh, I might have broken this. Let me see. Set it back to normal. There we go. Why is the fade not? Is this a 21? Maybe this is a 21 bug. Oh no, the in works still. That's kind of weird. I'll have to look at that after stream. But I made this because Smitty,
So Smitty, super popular gaming YouTuber, he has an insane like subscriber to view ratio, and his stuff is hyper edited. And I wanted this. I wanted to be able to add in a lot of his animated subtitles without it taking me forever. And I was like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record one of my own gaming videos, which you can find somewhere. It's on YouTube. And then I wanted to have all these animated subtitles, but I wanted to be able to do them really fast because his pipeline is super, super tight. The only way he's putting out the volume of content at the quality is with a ton of plugins, especially for the animated text, because it just takes so long. So I learned how to do all of this, even like blurring text and stuff. Super, super cool. So I learned how to do it, made an entire custom plugin. I say plugin, but I mean like template, macro, whatever, that you can use on the edit page. And so all the animation is done for you, and you can mix and match, blah, blah, blah. So you can have it be like rippling, you can have it be shaking if someone's yelling, da, 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 da. And I want to add a little bit more functionality. I want to make it run a bit better because it's really nice. It's really nice. But it is a little bit clunky because I don't know how to rate fuses, which is code. Yeah, Cloud and other stuff, they will probably make some functional AI scripts, but they're probably not going to be optimized. Like they're probably not going to run as well as they would. Actually, probably for fact, I'm almost certain they won't run as well as they would if you didn't hire as they would if you were to hire someone like Pizza or like I think Gargoyle, who both of them have computer science background. They understand the language and they can remove parts that make it less efficient and actually build their own versions of stuff that are even more efficient. It's just like humans are always going to be AI as far as creating things goes, because the AI can only use what exists so far. But if you need to dream up a new concept or a custom tool, I mean, you need someone with an imagination, which a computer is not. You can make $300 with the free version, and then just buy the studio. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. You could do that with like one version or like with one video, and also learning about like the psychology of content, titles, thumbnails, so massive right now. Titles and thumbnails and your intro, right? Those are the three big things. And like the YouTube algorithm works the same way, or like there's one algorithm, but because you want to format your content differently based on if you're doing gaming, education, information, news, clippers, cut a moment out, add captions, upload, yeah. But because you format content differently based on the niche you're in, I say that I call like different niches, or when I'm talking about the algorithm in different niches, I'll say the gaming algorithm, the education algorithm, the news, the vlog algorithm. I'll talk about them differently because you format your content. Different, but you can either way you want to get title, thumbnail, intro down. Start with like one niche if you're like new, and then just get like really, really good at storytelling. Look up like storytelling videos too, like all that. Like that's what I would do if I'm starting over and I'm using just the free version. You kind of want to learn how to use your tools super well so that you hit the ceiling of your tools before you increase like the capacity. Like it's better to be a master at a basic tool than an amateur with like a million master tools, because you're not going to know how to use them properly. YouTube editors are dramatically hurting the editing ecosystem, supply demand. How do you get good on storytelling? So like the way if I had to start right now, stas evasion. I'm looking at like videos on YouTube about storytelling. Learn the basic story structure. There's a Dan Harmon story circle. All right, tons of stuff that you can look up. And then here's the part that is
gonna hurt all the people who want that silver bullet. You got to make a lot of, like, you just have to make a lot of stories as well. Once you learn the steps, make some stories, study, put them out there for people as well, so you actually get feedback. And then once you have feedback, now you can course correct a little bit, you know? Making interview videos are a great way to practice because those are the most defined structures, yeah. And then also stories need to have conflict, right? If I tell you a story, like if here's my story. So one day I decided I wanted to go to the store. So I went to the store and I bought some eggs and I bought some milk. And then I drove home and it was nice and sunny outside. And then I got home and it was a very nice day, right? You're bored. You're not engaged. Like it's a crap story because there's no conflict, right? If I say, one day I wanted to go to the store, so I get in my car, and as I turn, actually I can say, you know, I'm leaving a place. I get in my car, right? Super snowy, it's dark, so I'm not looking forward to the drive. And as I turn the key in the ignition, the engine sputters and dies, right? Instant conflict, right? I need to go home. My car is not working. Why is the car not working? How am I going to get home? I've set the environment so that, you know, okay, it's snowy, it's cold. Like now you've got some, like, you've got a reason to care, right? Mostly because you want to see how it ends. Cause come on, like that's, everyone loves a good story. Like that's one thing to remember in all of your content. Just everyone loves a good story. If it's not going to be something that is, you know, informational, educational, if it's entertainment, make it a good story, right? Because that's what entertainment is at the end of the day. Even like a joke is a story, you know, because I don't know I don't know how it's going to end, but maybe the misdirection or the answer is funny enough. I got to catch up on these super chats. Depends on what you're involved in. 4 hours of time on making it with all the effects and stuff, you're effectively losing money. Yeah, so yeah, that it's the edits and like the whole editor ecosystem is that's a whole different thing. Like with the wages and, you know, what people are willing to pay versus what the edit is actually worth. The unfortunate reality is, like, you know, people are going to continue to undercut each other just because, like, that's how it goes. And what's going to happen a lot is, like, it'll be the people at the top who know how to edit for the retention or get the views. They're going to get paid a bunch because they're helping to make that money. Everyone else, and like this is kind of the sad part as well, is so many people are just like, how can I get the best deal on editing? But the way you're on an editor, what you're going to end up with is someone who can, like, use templates, or someone who's, like, you know, they're just trying to get by, and they're taking a billion jobs. And it is very sad, you know. And I don't want to speak bad about people because, like, that's not productive. But it is, like, it's rough, you know. It's rough out there for a lot of people. Like, obviously, you know, it's feast or famine for a lot, where, you know, you get your foot in the door. Thanks for uploading your videos. They're really informative. I'm glad you like them. I'm gonna keep uploading. We're gonna do some more stuff that isn't just Fusion based. I want to do one about audio. I want to do one explaining basic color science, because I think that will be very useful for a lot of people. Like, just knowing, right? Knowing is half the battle, especially for the people who are like, okay, here, let me get rid of this. I see so many people, even people who, like, I know personally, who are like who know a decent amount about Fusion but don't know much about color. They'll be like, okay, I need to make this image pop. This image has to pop. Saturation 1.5, or contrast 1.5. Saturation 100. Oh, that's too much. I'll put it down to like 1.2 and like 60, and then there's my before and after. Beautiful image, right? Absolute cinema. Like, no way. Like that, but that's what so many people do, and you know, they don't understand the color science of what's behind an actual, like what makes a look pop. Let me see if I can. I'll pull up a project, or I'll pull up something that I actually was helping a buddy with a couple days ago. And he was like, where is it? So he was doing a Five Nights at Freddy's video, which FNAF is an old game, but there's our starting point, there's our end point. And so like making like a thumbnail in this case, do I know about HSV trick, hue saturation value? I'm assuming you mean HSL CY Kivur. I'm not sure. Yeah, within Bert. Yeah, so like that's like for masking stuff, or if you want to add a vignette on some stuff. I gotta catch up on the chats as well. Pizza, you started learning coding when you were in 3rd grade? Dude, Pizza's out here. Pizza, you remind me of an old boss I had when I was working at an LED factory. I had a boss who put together his first, like he took apart and rebuilt his first engine at 9 years old. And I was like, dude, you'll meet some people in life who are like prodigies. The 3-act system, yep, Camera Tim, you've got that. How old am I? I am 24. 24 years old. I'm an old man now in the YouTube space. Dude, some days I feel old. Not physically, but I look back and I'm like, damn, like the years have flown by. You have enough documentation, some guides on the website if you're looking to get started. Don't know coding. If you don't know coding basics, start with simple projects outside of Resolve. Yeah. Basics first. Google first coding projects. Saturation is derived model. Yep, saturation. It's about making the node in saturation. You'll change. It's more natural, crispier. The square of the hypotenuse is equal. Yeah, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Try making just one clear node. Change color. Oh, the color space stuff. Man, start working out. Dude, I used to be fucking built. Back in 2022, I was like, oh, I gotta put on some muscle. So I took like the gym super seriously. I was eating a whole bunch. I wasn't dirty bulking. I know a lot of people who dirty bulk because it's cheaper. You want me to hop in a call and explain HSVSAT? It's a really fun thing. Tell you what, Camera Tim, I might add that into the color video a little bit, because I want to explain color science. Maybe I'll make it a mini series where we do different looks. Like let me show you guys. So for thumbnail, here's before and after. And when it comes to like making a thumbnail, you don't just want to think about like pumping your saturation and your contrast. Because all that's going to do is like forwarded favorite color. Oh, thank you, Pizza. I'm gonna check all this stuff out. All you want to do, we won't regret trying that. I'm gonna check it out. Coover. Am I saying your name right? I hope so. But I'm gonna check it out. Most people, they will just do the saturation, but then you're like, oh man, that's really pushing the reds and really pushing, like, oh, that doesn't look very good. But what I've found, and I notice people will do this in Photoshop, is a lot of it is about like depth of field. Doesn't matter how you get. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for being patient with me, Coover. I found a lot of it is about two things mainly. One is lighting, and then the other is depth of field, and then you can add in some texturing if you want as well. So I think like the first thing we did, and I did this super rough because we are doing this fast, is we added in like a little bit of like edge lighting, because I was like, oh, what if we like backlight Fredbear over here? We'll backlight him. Doesn't need to be anything crazy. So we did a really broken mask here. And then I think we added an outside or inside to it. And what did we do? We pulled the saturation down on the whole thing, right? And then, did I do anything else with this? What did I do here? See, I didn't even remember what I did. Oh, I messed with the gain a little bit to adjust our colors as well. Pumped it up a tiny bit. After that, we blurred everything outside of him a little bit and darkened it. Actually, I don't think we did the blurring just yet, but we pulled the saturation down and the gamma down and the highlights down. Then we went in, we did the AI depth map, which is just right here. And we brightened up the front because he does look like he's backlit a bit, but also I want the front of him to be lit, but I want it to be focused. And so that right away pulls you a little bit more towards him. Then we adjusted the blue in the eyes. Very, very like simple, basic thing to do. Then soften and sharpen the whole thing. Then this is where the blurring, like the depth of field, really helped. AI Cinefocus, one of the new tools in Resolve 21, super cool. Helps so that you can adjust your f-stop, so like how much blur you're gonna have, separation between front and back, and we can adjust the aperture as well. This is such a cool tool. If anyone has Studio, I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice to not be playing around with this. Like tilt shift blur is good. This is just really cool because now the back of his mouth is going to be more blurred than the front of his mouth, which is really cool. And then the result ends up being like this. Even his shoulders are more blurred, and so it helps to create some more pop. And then I think last but not least, we did one more depth map, and then with this we just brightened up or darkened it. We brightened up here, or we darkened the background. But it took us from here, which is took us from here, which is kind of a flat image. You're kind of more drawn to Balloon Boy here and Toy Bonnie, and it pulls you into Freddy. So lighting and thank you, pizza. Lighting the what am I trying to say here? Brain just went short circuit. Lighting and why is it? Oh, lighting and depth of field. Two things that I've been focusing on a lot for thumbnails. And then for the new thumbnails, I don't know if anyone's been seeing them on the channel. I'm A/B testing a bunch of different thumbnails for the channel. Just like a super basic increase in quality, or an attempt at increase in quality. We'll see if you guys like them. We'll see which attempts or which thumbnails win at the end of the day. Bum. And then let me go to streams here. Here we go. Do you have any presets? Any free presets? I struggle with Fusion. There are some free stuff. There are some free presets for some text animation. Mine unnaturally jump. Really want to ask you, how does your timeline zoom bug out? Does my timeline zoom bug out too? I just use Alt and scroll wheel for zooming. One of my PC specs, we're running with 64 gigs of DDR4. We've got a 4080 as well, so we're running with some pretty serious hardware. When you do the cinefocus and try to adjust the depth, the black stuff is the stuff that is blurred. I believe the white is the focus. You can invert. You're expecting more artifacting on the depth of field. I know the cinefocus is crazy. Did I try the Lightroom part of Resolve? I took a look at it. Can I drag this in? Can I do this? But I was like, oh, it's Lightroom. Oh, okay. Wow. Ooh. And then I kind of, for Lightroom people, I completely understand like how this would be cool, because then you can make some more adjustments in the color page. But I mean, dude, if we're gonna use the color page, let's use the color page. Am I right? Like, we have our skin tone indicator here. We've got parade. We've got waveform. We've got if you're gonna do serious color work, then I just use the color page. But I am biased because I love the color page. I've done a ton of photo work in the color page before. I used to do photography. Can you do a pro thumbnail in Resolve? I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do in Resolve. Where did I do my most recent stuff? Here we go. I think this is it. So some of the updated thumbnails that we did. If I do this, we go into Resolve. I don't know why these aren't showing up. So this was the DaVinci original, right? The Disney original thumbnail that we did, right? And then if I add the adjustment clip on, this is what we turned it into. So before, after, this is what I'm A/B testing, right? So this was the original thumbnail. This is a thumbnail some of you might see on YouTube. And so you can see we've got it looking a lot more 3D. We've got this scanlines-esque texture in there. And then we've got some other versions as well. Balatro we played around with. I didn't do a ton to Balatro. Come on. I think it's trying to process because it's such like a heavy amount of stuff. Yeah. So here's the node tree. I actually got I've made some kind of custom textures. Also, I need to catch up on the chat. I'm sorry, guys. When you do this into focus, we touched on that. PC specs. Yeah, so we do have some free text stuff. We do have some free project files and a couple paid project files that are based on the videos. I think we released the Sonic preset for free, or the Sonic project file. The Sonic video was supposed to be like 20 minutes to half an hour, and it ended up being almost 2 hours. Because of just how deep it ended up being. But I believe that's a free project file. If you want to play around with Fusion and you want to see some effects, or you like some effects and you want to see how they're broken down, that is a good project file to play around with. Really want to ask you a great visual for chroma. It also helps explain differences between primaries and HSL. Did you try the Lightroom part? Here we go. When you're at the lowest point of zoom. When I'm at the lowest point? Oh, yeah. When you're at the lowest point. Oh, no. Mine does not jump around. If you have snapping enabled, right, which, what do I have? I have snapping as F. Snapping is naturally N. I have mine set to F. You know, you might have some pulling, but that's only if you're like close to the end of a clip. Yeah, so here is our before. Here's our after, right? Let me see. Yeah, it's okay. Camera Tim, it's literally Lightroom, and it's amazing. If you're a Lightroom user and you're like, I'm familiar with Lightroom, I know how to use it, I know what it does. And this is kind of where the software comes in. Like, if you're an AE user and you're like, oh, should I switch over to Resolve and Fusion? Only if you need it. If you have if you have a perfectly working workflow, like. It's kind of like, if it's not broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't go trying to fix things that are already working, because all you're gonna do is bungle up the whole thing. Then you're gonna have twice the mistakes in half the time. That ain't the horse you want to get on the saddle. You've been doing thumbnails in Resolve for years in Fusion, yeah. The pizza, you were watching me when I was making the new text video preset, the new text video thumbnail. You like how Blackmagic Design just made it? Yeah, Lightroom as a side project. Yeah, we'll try to give the Sonic project. Yeah, you can follow along with it as well, but it is more advanced. Hard to explain. Could I show you? Open up some JPG or GIF stuff. You could show the zoom. Let me see. Oh, here we go. When you're zooming? What do you mean? This is, I think, because I have stuff underneath this. If I get rid of this, then this should be a lot smoother. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, Coover. You might have to, if you jump into the server, we do have a troubleshooting chat. Oh, timeline zoom. Yeah, we do have a troubleshooting chat, so we can always check that out as well. Oh, is this what you mean, where it goes from frame to frame? I mean, I'm still going from frame to frame. You can see right here. Anyways, Microsoft Azure is awful. I have to watch a tutorial on how to give myself permission to upload a document. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, so for the actual texturing, so I made a couple custom textures and some reflection data using skills I picked up from watching Fusion Brew, who is a very good He's a very good Fusion guy to learn. I think he knows more advanced stuff than me. Definitely for 3D he does. I might have him on motion graphics, but I don't know. I don't know. Fusion Brew and Milo Lab tutorials, both two insanely skilled creators. But this is like, I just have on a default dot setting file some of my basic shader information. Then I play around with it and pull it into, here we go. Then I play around with it and I pull it into Fusion. And so this is the actual Fusion composition for making this thumbnail. You can see I don't even have anything on the back there, which is why it shows up dark. But like, we take it, we play around with some stuff. Like even, I don't even have everything necessarily set up super proper here. Blah, 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 blah. Merging. I might not even need this step right here. But like, again, what's the best workflow? The one that works for you. If something's not broke, don't fix it. Or don't mess around with it. We've got our lighting. Pull it into the render. I HSL keyed part of it because I wanted to play around. I wanted to play around with some stuff. We add on Fast Chroma, which is a Milo Lab plugin. And then we got our zoom blur. Boom. And then we also did some work in the color page just to brighten up this area. But yeah, so there's like, you can make thumbnails in DaVinci. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, you can't make you can't make thumbnails in DaVinci. You can't do that. You 100% can. So all we did, we just kind of like upscaled versions of everything. Before, after, give it that movie poster billboard feel. And then I think where was the last one? So that's Stranger Things. And then which one was this? Let me see. This was YouTube Originals. This one's the one I'm the least proud of. Yeah, and then here we go. There's before, there's after. I had a lot of fun playing around with this one. So we're gonna be A/B testing. We're gonna be A/B testing these on the channel over the next while. But anyways, let's get back to the main stuff. It's like if you had to give yourself permission to send messages in your own Discord server, but harder. That's crazy, Pizza. If you had to give yourself permission to send stuff in your own server, that's wild. I'm gonna switch the music up here. Here we go. Let's go. Let me go back into streams here. Boom. And let's make some assets. Upload it to your troubleshoot. Want to know if you're experiencing. I'll check it out. Are you using the where did this come from? Can I photo? Oh, that's in photo album. That's cool. Let me go to timeline 1. That's cool. You can have a photo album as a timeline. I didn't even know that. That's really cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. Did you try Flow? I have not yet. Tell me, Coover, what version of the software are you on? Because that will 100% matter. Yeah, so here's basic plugin, blah 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 blah. What's my custom tool set to? I'm gonna want it at default here. So I might actually be able to build this into just like one. Make it one preset, the zoom and blur tool, or the focus. I could call it the focus tool. It might be better to have as just one tool, because then it's built in together. But also, at the same time, this is expression based, so maybe you don't want that. Someone told me Flow was a virus. Jeez, you have the newest 21 public beta like you. Oh, interesting. Okay, Coover, that's not something I've experienced. I'm on beta 3, and as you can see, my spline editor is not opening in Fusion because I crashed Fusion once when it was popped out, and now it does not open. Pizza, you remember when I had to delete and make a new Fusion profile? I might be doing that again. I might be doing that again. That might be what's going on. Yeah, so there's one. Drag and drop. So a drag and drop vignette was one. Something else I wanted to do was add in this would have to be a macro, I think, but I wanted to add in, yeah, hopefully I remember, oh, yeah, you did say you were going to DM me. You're going to DM me something. And put oh, okay, yeah, I know, yeah, I know the guy you're talking about. Pizza. He really likes making everything like he's very anti gatekeeping, which I can there again, there's two sides to that. If someone's like, hey, how did you do this? And I'm like, and it's a super basic thing, and I'm like, I'm not telling you. Then I'm like, okay, come on. Like, it's like, you know, you could probably find stuff, but if it's like, you know, someone made something proprietary to their own with their own application or whatever, then yeah, or it's just pirated stuff. And then I can understand, like, hey, don't pirate my things, please, guys. that makes it sad Isaiah Gray. Very, very sad. Yeah, I think so. I think we've made these two things right here. We successfully have made a focus tool, right? And a grow tool, and I think we're going to package them separately. We'll probably put them out for free on the store. Yeah, I'm reading your messages, Pizza. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. I can understand it. Yeah, so we've made these two things. We've made these two things right here. Okay, yeah, so we've made these two fusion tools right here. I'll probably release them for free on the store, okay? Because they're pretty basic, and they're just helpful, right? And here's the thing, like with tools, especially like between free and paid tools, and I'm not discouraging anyone to purchase paid tools here either. Paid tools can be super, super helpful. Like learn to use them though, you know, like get really good at storytelling, and then be like, and then when you're thinking, I need a way to more efficiently direct my viewers' attention on a technical side, then now you have a tool to do that. So like when we look at this, when we're looking at just this, and I have my before, and I have my after, and there's gameplay. This would be so much more helpful if it was like gameplay happening with the slight blur, the slight sharpness, the difference in color correction. Like if I go, where's the desaturated one? This is going to be very subtle too. Yeah, so we can see it in like the greens here. This actually makes it more blue, I guess, because it's an ocean. It really just changes the aesthetic, and maybe that's something that I would have to look at. With brightness, yeah, brightness isn't going to do it. Gamma is actually a really cool tool. Or I don't want to say it's a one size fits all thing. However, you can use it to make a lot of not global changes, but you can use Gamma to fix certain things, or to make changes to certain things, instead of using multiple, like 2 or 3 other tools at a time. Yeah, I think what we're going to want to do for the transform preset. Oh, that's cool. This is 4K. I didn't even know that. What we're going to want to do for this one, we'll add in we're going to add in this so that you can control the speed of it. And again, I'll throw this up for free on the store page, so be on the lookout for that over the next little bit. Same with this one. And then we will adjust. We'll do the pivot point as well. And then I'm not sure if we should have a default. Oh, let me throw this up on here. If we should have like a default change right here to the zoom. I think we could. I don't think it would be It honestly wouldn't be that hard, and it would allow you to have a certain start point, like set a custom start point. So if I want to have like a natural zoom here, like I only want this much visible, and then I want to zoom in, right? We can have something like that, and I can do that by adding in number in 2, and then we're basically gonna take this custom tool 1, number in 1. I'm gonna copy this entire sequence. I'm gonna paste it in here, but we're gonna do number in 2, and I'm gonna get rid of my brackets here because I'm not actually doing any kind of equation. Then in my custom tool 1, I'm gonna go to my number in 2, go to edit controls, and I actually want the default to start off as 1. So then if I do this, boom, now we always have a default zoom value of 1. And because we're zooming into this top left corner on Markiplier's editor, I wish STEM aim. Right now, we're not Markiplier's editor, but we are making stuff that Mark might find useful in doing his videos. Like if he's doing a zoom in on some of his stuff, right? Really cool zoom preset, and using these controls here, we can change the basic zoom amount. So maybe he has like a reaction. He wants to be zooming in, but he wants to start with it, you know, like this, and then slowly zoom in. So that's something he can do. We also can adjust the zoom in speed, right? Boom, like that. I don't know why it goes to, instead of going just to 1, it goes to 99999 right before it. It's basically the same thing, but weird fusion thing. Pizza probably knows. Do you use DAU? The message retracted. I'm guessing you'll send a new one. Why do you use zooms in Fusion if you can just use keyframes? So no, you're all good. Omer. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Let me know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'll just call you Om for now. So STEM, the reason I would use Fusion is if I'm doing something super complex and I need my spline editor, which right now is not working because I'm using the public beta, which is, you know, it's new, so it's a tiny bit buggy. But if I'm making right now, what we're doing is we're making presets. So what we have here is a basic zoom preset. And if I want to adjust the speed, but I want the speed to always be consistent. So I want it to always zoom in at the same speed. I'm not looking for like an ease in, ease out, but I want to be able to adjust the overall speed that it zooms in at. I could set it to something like this, and it would go, oh, we're backing up like that. Or if I want it to zoom out, I could have it do this instead. And this is all done on, yeah. So yeah, you make presets in Fusion. DaVinci 20 and 21 are almost the same. Yes and no. It depends what areas you're using. If you're using the edit page and you don't use any of the AI features, you're going to have more or less the same experience. If you're a colorist or you're a Fusion user and you make presets or you do some other stuff, there's some really cool new features for you to use. But yeah, STEM, this is how you make presets. And the whole reason that we do presets in here is because we can add on custom controls that make them adaptable, so that I can adjust the base canvas zoom, and then I can have it slowly zoom in, or I could have it, you know, I could have it be slowly zooming out, right? So really, really cool. And then for the ellipses here, we're gonna link the size. We're gonna link the size to each other. The size, both the width and the height. Yeah, all these are gonna be the same. And I'm going to. And so this is another reason why you might do presets STEM, because I have the same size of mask, but with slightly different. Hey, Monkey Plays, how you doing? We're making presets for gaming creators. So let's say I have all these different masks. Each one is the same size, but I've adjusted a couple of the settings ever so slightly. If I want to be able to adjust the size of one mask, and I want all the other masks to follow suit, I can set up a preset. I wish I could use Premiere, DaVinci, or After Effects, but my laptop can't even run CapCut. Jeez. You're really good at editing though, can easily create 2D motion graphics. Heck yeah. Yeah, if it's CapCut, there's a lot of stuff that like CapCut just can't do, because it's meant, at least from my understanding, is it's not a true editing software, I would say. Like you can do some video editing stuff in it, you can do some adjustments, but so much of it is like templates and effects. As soon as you get into creating like custom content, that's where I'm seeing it drop off. Am I Markiplier's editor? I am not Markiplier's editor. That'd be really cool. We've had that question a couple times, but we're using Markiplier as a base. So we don't have to buy all the text animation stuff, because we can do it in DaVinci and add like a pack in or program right. So DaVinci has like a whole bunch of basic text titles and stuff. I think some of this is Patrick Sterling's free stuff. But yeah, DaVinci has a whole bunch of basic stuff that is built in. So no, you do not have to you don't have to purchase all the text stuff. And you can also build your own text macros if you want. And that's kind of something that will take a little bit of learning, obviously. But once you learn how to do it, it's super, super cool. Like we have, let me do this. Enable. We built ourselves a custom text preset here where we can mix and match some of the different options here. So I can do something like this, and then I get different animations based on what I pick, and these are all done automatically. Like you can see there's no keyframes except for the center, but that just controls the position. But yeah, so mix and match animation, really, really cool. This took a while to learn, but learning it is so worth it. Yeah, you can make macros for free. I don't know why YouTubers make CapCut look so bad. It's 100% top 3 free editing softwares. I could see that. Where text comes out of the logo would take like 10 minutes. I'm not following you exactly, STEM. But I do know doing custom subtitle animation, especially if you're like doing lots of different words from what people are saying, is very time consuming. Like, that's the whole reason I made this. Right? Because it was taking so long. I was like, I need a text preset, like a text macro where I have all these options for in animations, out animations, and any kind of mid animation, so I can have it like slowly shrinking or slowly growing, whatever, floating, anything I want. And I need it done. It's not free anymore. I guess I wasn't able to download the sound part when I was trying it around a year ago. I'm not sure what you're talking about, if that's CapCut or if that's something else. But yeah, so I originally made this because I remember there's a YouTube channel called Smitty. He does a whole bunch of gaming stuff. He was doing a Mario Kart video that had a whole bunch of really cool subtitle animation. And I was like, man, there's got to be some trick to how he gets videos out so fast. And I figured automated animated subtitles was one of them. So automatic subtitle animation. So I spent a whole bunch of time learning how to do presets for subtitles and make them adaptable, make it so I can change the in, out, and middle animation. And then we actually have that up as a preset on the Isaiah Grade 4th Wall page, which is linked in the channel. We're plugging the channel. It is a very, very good preset. It's going to save you like hours, right? All my guys who are doing gaming stuff, right? They've all purchased it, and I'll ask them for feedback. I'll be like, hey, let me know if you encounter any bugs, if you want to see any features added, blah 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 blah. Aside from it being like a tiny bit clunky, if you start really stacking a whole bunch of these on top of each other, if you're on top of like 4K footage or something, and this will vary, right, based on PC specs, obviously. But they're like, yeah, aside from that, it works really, really well. You can add in like blurred text as well. So if there's any cussing or something, or you're doing it comedically, right, of course you can have that in there. But yeah, huge time save. Huge time save. Yeah, so what was funny is after I made that text preset, he had an editing contest. He needed to hire a new editor, and I ended up making a couple basic videos, like a couple videos, and it was really cool because I had made this text preset that would save me a whole bunch of time. Stem is right, but in DaVinci or other programs like more professional, you have to make your own macros, text animations, like Isaiah. Yeah, it's like he said. You know what? In the Discord, let me know if you guys want to see like the let me know if you want to see the test, like the test videos that I made for Smitty. Because I have them unlisted on the channel because they're not really a like there's no breakdown. It's a purely entertainment video, so they're on this channel. They're just unlisted. Let me know if you guys want the links, so that you can like watch them through and see the use of different stuff in like see how I would do like a Smitty type video or whatever. Bro, I love your channel so much, even though this is the first time I've been in a stream, because you read the full comment instead of just reading half of it. Love your personality. Thank you, Stem. I'm glad you're loving the content. I'm glad you're loving me, because that also helps. It does help when you enjoy the person teaching as well, right? If you can connect with them, if you can vibe with them, right? Then that's also something really good. But yeah, so we've got these two things more or less made here. I'm gonna connect the width and the height, I think, to each other. So what I'm gonna do is pin, open these up so that they will be visible, and then let me see, ellipse 1 is what I'm gonna want to connect to. So if I'm looking at the bottom left of the screen, we can see ellipse 1_1.width. That's what I want to connect this to. Oh, I don't have any connect properties. I think, do I need to publish this? Yeah, I gotta publish it. So publish, and then publish that. Then I can connect the width to ellipse 1 width, and I can connect the height to ellipse 1 height. And basically this is going to make sure that, right, we can see our circle right here. We can see the circle right here. If I adjust this one, it's going to adjust this one as well, but it hasn't adjusted these two yet because we haven't connected them. So let me bring that back out, and let's unpin, let me see, this one, because I don't need it anymore, but I do need this one to connect to here, connect to the width. This one needs to connect to the height, and once more connect to width. And I think my camera might be blocking it, but I'm doing the same thing. Connect to height. So now all of these are going to follow the exact same height, so that I can have all these changes applied in the exact same area. Now what I need to do is publish the center, so I can connect the center of all these as well. So when I actually move this around, you're going to notice all the masks will move together. So let's go to this one, connect to center, and then we're going to do this one as well. Let me unpin all these real quick. So this one, is this one connect? No, this one's not connected to the center. So now when I move this over to here, yeah, all these have moved. So you won't notice any change, and you're not right now. You doing so? I'm just kind of teaching you guys some stuff, and I also figured, hey, I'm gonna make these as presets anyways. I might as well come and chat, hang out, talk a little bit about Fusion and content. I love learning about content, how different content works, how to make good content. I don't know why, but like, aside from the technical side of Fusion, this is just it's very fun for me. Okay, something else we need to do is connect. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to do the soft edge. So the soft edge will control, let's move this over to here. The soft edge controls how much of a feathering effect we have. So if I grow this out, you can see we've got a black like gradient, or like black in the center, and then a slow gradient to white, that's like how much or how drastic the change is going to be. If I do this, then we go into here, you can see like oops, here we go. I thought Fusion froze for a second. You can see a line kind of right here. And I don't know if I want to connect, all these. I might, you know what, I'll connect the color corrector ones, but not the other ones, because the blur and sharpen, actually, you know what, we'll connect the colors and we'll connect these two, because blur and sharpen are the opposites of each other, and this is less saturation and more saturation. So we will connect these two to each other. So connect to this one soft edge, so that now when I move this one's gonna move, and when I move this one, I think, yeah, so that one will move. So that is good. So now pull the size in. Yeah, we can see we've got that line right there. And if I move these around, they're all gonna move. We're all gonna move together. So next, let me publish this one. Publishing is what is gonna allow me to connect these to each other. And so then soft edge, connect to ellipse 1 soft edge. And then I would just add in all these controls separately so that you can adjust them however you want. But now I could go over to the center, let's say, right? And I could pull my soft edge all the way down for both of these. And then maybe on the blur, I pull this up a whole bunch. Oh, and I just realized, here we go. So this is what the soft edge is gonna do, right? And if I adjust the width and the height of all of the masks will adapt. So the end goal of this is to create okay, I see. So I don't want to double click on this, because that is it's gonna reset everything. Okay, so if I do this, I just resize that. I guess that's where using an expression comes more in handy, is if I use an expression to connect these, then I can reset this one back to normal and the others will follow. Okay, so let me set blur to 0 or set blur to 1. Let's pull the soft edge out a little bit. We can bring the blur up a tiny bit. And so this creates a focus point. So now your eyes are naturally going to be drawn to Mark, Mr. Eplier himself, as opposed to the rest of the screen. Right? If I show just him, the entire screen becomes kind of one flat image. When I throw this on here, we've got the sharpening, we've got the blur here, sharpening on him, and then we've also got our contrast, so he's a little bit brighter and a little bit more in focus. So we're gonna do, let me do this. We'll do each of these as their very own plugin, or as their very own macro, so that you can slowly size something in, you know, have whatever base that you want. And you can also decide your, you can also decide how blurry you want it. Yeah, we've, I think we've successfully made both of these. We've covered just about everything that I wanted to cover. We talked about a whole bunch of unrelated stuff, but really, really cool. It's nice when people can come into the stream and they can learn more than just the technical side of Fusion, Resolve, video editing, you know, thinking about content in general, because it is like motion graphics and video editing is just like, it's one small part of this huge, I guess business. Content's technically a business, but like of this huge project, of a huge piece of content. The video editing, even though it's an essential part, is such a small part. Yeah. So yeah, thank you everyone so much for tuning in. I think we're gonna end the stream here. If you want to join the Discord, stay up to date on stuff, you know, get deals on stuff, get the early news on stuff. We do troubleshooting. Sometimes we're hanging out in the chat and just talking content or talking video editing. Basically, it's like a little upgraded or a little exclusive experience. And there will be more stuff coming out soon. I'm thinking of doing like member streams where, you know, where I'll be like making stuff that you guys suggest, or making like making stuff based off of things that you guys have referenced. So that I think we'll be introducing hopefully soon, because I do want to add some stuff, or I do want to do some projects specifically for you guys, because like playing around in Fusion, solving problems, learning how stuff is done, how stuff is made, and like solving niche things is a big part of what we do here on the channel. Learning is like the number one thing. Learning, getting better, having fun while doing it is like the number one thing. So you can look forward to some member stuff where I'm making things that you guys are directly suggesting and asking about. But yeah, that's I think that's going to be all for me. I'm going to play around with these a little bit more, test them a little bit, and then put them up on the store page for free. And yeah, we'll see you soon. So thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Look forward to more content coming in the future. I am working on a more narrative video where I talk about how we tried to make the Amazon Prime Video logo, the animation for it. We're gonna have some more effects breakdown videos coming out, some more stuff that is more about concepts like audio mixing, setting up audio presets for stuff like this so your mic can sound really good, and for talking head videos you can make things sound really awesome. And of course, check out the Fourth Wall page for tons of free, cool, and a few paid plugins. Yeah. I think that's everything. Join the Discord. I'll see you guys on the inside. Thank you everyone so much for watching. That's probably like the 9th time I've said it. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. Cheers. Becoming Markiplier's editor when? Hopefully, it may be sooner than you think. Maybe we'll just do it for our own, for the gaming channel, because we do have a gaming channel. And that is something I'm planning on getting back into this summer. This summer. Coming to channels near you. Gogler, the game. Or Gogler, the channel. Oh, you know Zane Hoyer, if you know Fusion, you have to show him. And you do real crazy, man. Thanks for the stream, joining the Discord. Hell yeah, I'll see you inside, STEM. Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, Zane Hoyer, I've seen him. He's got some good stuff. I think he needs to do more deep dives, but it is kind of difficult to do a deep dive without making a super long video, which I can tell he's trying to keep like a cap on video length. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next stream. Cheers.